Hi everyone, this is Dr. Nitin Chhoda and welcome to this episode of Ignition Time. My goal is to give you the latest news about the country, the economy, and about your money. Let's just jump right in. We know that there was a very consequential meeting today between President Biden and the 10 Republican senators who proposed a $618 billion plan. Now, at the time I'm recording this video, we are still waiting for news to emerge about that meeting. I wouldn't be surprised if the White House essentially brushes off the meeting and said it was a nice discussion, it was very cordial, we had an exchange of ideas, and all the kumbaya stuff. I don't expect that meeting to yield anything consequential. If anything, my expectation is that meeting might get President Biden to talk to Chuck Schumer and House Speaker Pelosi. There's Chuck, hello Chuck, and there's House Speaker Pelosi, hello Speaker Pelosi, and right there is President Biden. My prediction is that President Biden is more likely to speak with Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi and say, hey, let's move through reconciliation and let's pass the $1.9 trillion stimulus because the pathway has already begun, led by the one and only Senator Bernie Sanders, the independent from Vermont. There he is. What's up, Bernie? So what is happening here? Here's an article on your screen that was published by the Washington Post. White House plays down prospects for Biden GOP meeting on relief bill. And I did do another video earlier today where I highlighted comments from the White House press secretary, Jennifer Psaki, who basically said that this is just going to be an exchange of ideas and the stimulus package should be commensurate with the crisis, meaning we're going to go big, and that's where we are as far as the Democrats are concerned. And folks, speaking of the Democrats, here's a tweet on your screen from President Biden where the president writes, hardworking Americans need help and they need it now. That's why I'm calling on Congress to immediately pass my American Rescue Plan that will deliver direct relief, extend unemployment insurance. By the way, the direct relief is going to be $1,400 stimulus checks to the same group of people who got the first and the second round of stimulus checks, the same income thresholds. And as far as unemployment insurance is concerned, right now the $300 a week booster is going to run out on the 14th of March. President Biden's proposal plans to increase that from $300 to $400 after the 14th of March and then provide that booster all the way through September of 2021. And the president also writes, help folks put food on the table and keep a roof over their heads and more. So folks, this is absolutely important. You know, our fellow Americans need quick cash now. It's about putting food on the table. It's about making rent. It's about keeping the lights on, because individuals in certain sectors, as you know, travel, leisure, entertainment, and hospitality, have been badly impacted as a result of this. Guess what? House Speaker Pelosi, there she is again, and Chuck Schumer. Hello, Chuck. Are not wasting any time. We just got news that both Chuck Schumer and House Speaker Pelosi announced that they were filing budget bills with the help of Bernie Sanders from Vermont. There he is, Bernie. And they are filing budget bills to fast track the American Rescue Plan through the Senate without Republican votes if necessary, with the process of reconciliation. Remember, right now we have 50 Democrats in the Senate and we have 50 Republicans, and the tie-breaking vote is going to be from the Vice President Kamala Harris. There she is. Hello, Vice President. So using reconciliation, the Democrats can just get things done, and they've set the stage to do that. So folks, here's a statement from House Speaker Pelosi and the Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer. Congress has a responsibility to quickly deliver immediate comprehensive relief to the American people hurting from the pandemic. The cost of inaction is high and growing, and the time for decisive action is now. With this budget resolution, the Democratic Congress is paving the way for the landmark Biden-Harris COVID package, which is the American Rescue Plan, the $1.9 trillion plan that will crush the pandemic and deliver real relief to families and communities in need. And folks, I got to be honest with you, the meeting today between President Biden and the 10 Republican senators is very, very important, because the president campaigned on the spirit of bipartisanship. His inauguration speech was all about bipartisanship. So the question is, can President Biden actually achieve that, or will he face pressure from what is essentially large sections of the Democratic Party to pass a big, massive stimulus? We're going to have to find out. And folks, it's very clear where the Democrats stand. Chris Murphy, the Democrat from Connecticut, said, I think the Republican offer is sincere, but Biden and Republicans have very different ideas for how we address this crisis, and voters very deliberately chose Biden's agenda. He said some compromise is always warranted, but we have an obligation to see the voters' intent through. Folks, here's another headline on your screen from Politico, which reads, Democrats begin the process for partisan bill. And folks, this happened at 3:50 p.m. East Coast time today. This literally just happened a few hours ago, and I just want our viewers and subscribers to understand how the process works. The way this works is the House and the Senate Democrats will file what's called as a joint budget resolution. House Democrats will file it in the House and Senate Democrats will file it in the Senate. The way it works is if these identical budget resolutions pass both the House and the Senate, okay, remember they have to pass both the House and the Senate, then basically the stage is set for the $1.9 trillion package. This would pave the way for the Senate to pass the $1.9 trillion package with 51 votes instead of the 60 votes that are normally required. This effectively would leave Republicans out of the equation entirely as far as this big stimulus package is concerned. And folks, there are already some initial signs that key Democratic senators are rejecting the Republican offer of $618 billion. Folks, there's a big difference. There's a $1.9 trillion up there, and there's the $618 billion down here. So once again, $1.9 trillion, lots of money, and $618 billion. That is not very much money. It's almost like you have $3 up here and you have $1 down here. So a key Democratic senator from Oregon, Ron Wyden, who's an important senator, he's the incoming Senate Finance Committee chairman. He called the plan a non-starter given the fact that it was such a small plan. Folks, let's flash back to a few months ago where the then Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell basically said certain plans from the Democrats were non-starters. Remember the HEROES Act and the updated version of the HEROES Act, and basically Mitch McConnell was like, nah. Now it looks like the roles have been reversed. The Republicans are coming up with something small and the Democrats are saying, nah. So Ron Wyden basically said, and I quote, the package outlined by 10 Senate Republicans is far too small to provide the relief the American people really need. And folks, here's where things get really interesting. Jim Justice, the Republican governor of West Virginia, basically was supportive of an ambitious plan for stimulus. Here's a quote from Jim Justice, the Republican governor of West Virginia. He said, what we need to understand is they're trying to be fiscally responsible at this point in time with what we have got going on in this country. If we actually throw away some money right now, so what? We've really got to move and get people taken care of. Pretty incredible comments, folks, from Jim Justice, the Republican governor of West Virginia, not to mention Joe Manchin. There he is, the Democratic senator from West Virginia, who also wants stimulus but seems to want more targeted stimulus. And folks, in some new reporting from Caitlin Collins from CNN, you'll see this tweet on your screen. Caitlin quotes the Republican senator from Kansas, Jerry Moran, who, by the way, is part of the group of 10 senators who are proposing the $600 billion counteroffer, specifically $618 billion. He told Fox that he's going to do everything he can to encourage President Biden, I quote, to do something that is much more targeted and much less expensive. And he says that reconciliation will destroy partisanship and take too long. I just want to be clear. The Republicans used reconciliation to pass the massive 2017 tax cuts. And in the past, the Democrats have used reconciliation to pass Obamacare. So this isn't something new. Both the parties have been using reconciliation whenever it's suited them. And folks, here's a tweet on your screen from the Democratic Congressman Connor Lamb from Pennsylvania. So he's a Democrat from Pennsylvania. He said that he essentially gave us some new information about the new stimulus package and the discussions with the Republicans. And he's giving us information on the American Rescue Plan, which is the $1.9 trillion plan compared with the $618 billion plan from the Republican senators. And the Congressman Lamb points out that the median income in Western Pennsylvania is about $60,000, meaning half of our people make less than that. If you're in or close to that group, there's no question which stimulus relief plan is better for you. The proposal from President Biden gives you $400 more right away, meaning $400 by way of the stimulus checks, $1,400 versus $1,000. At least $1,000 more in child tax credit, $100 more in unemployment, meaning instead of their $300 a week plan booster, this is $400 a week for 3 months or more, meaning their plan is up to June of 2021 and President Biden's plan is up to September, at least September of 2021, and protection from getting foreclosed or evicted. A lot of people have lost jobs or had hours cut through no fault of their own. No one knows for sure how long that lasts, and I believe Congressman Lamb does make a point. Again, he's a Democratic congressman from Pennsylvania. He said keeping these people afloat and in their own homes isn't too expensive. It's a necessary wartime measure in the battle against COVID. And he says the cuts in the Republicans' plan come from the same people who make around 60,000. And this is big, folks. He said the cuts in the Republican plan essentially will impact those people who make $60,000, around $60,000, or who have lost jobs. And he said they do have some good ideas on vaccination, and he's happy that that President Biden met with them. But he said unity does not determine the outcome here. In other words, he's saying, hey, this is an economic reality, and people need help, people need more money. And he said, our job is to fight for workers and the middle class. The GOP takes from them after giving to big companies all year. You can't cover that up with unity or bipartisanship. It's just not good enough. Folks, big comments from Connor Lamb, the congressman from Pennsylvania. And folks, here's a tweet on your screen from Burgess Everett, who's a co-congressional bureau chief of Politico. He's quoting Senator John Tester from Montana. He's a Democrat from Montana, who says he will support budget resolution this week, and that there are some things he would want change in the $1.9 trillion plan. But he said if push comes to shove, he would support the Biden proposal. That's it, everyone. Let me know what you think of these updates. It seems like more and more momentum is building up for the larger package, and the Republicans, it looks like, are going to be brushed aside. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. If you learned something new, please click like, please subscribe, please gently tap that subscribe button and enable notifications. That really helps out the YouTube algorithm. I would really appreciate that. Thank you so much, and I'll talk to you soon.